Oh wow, dear me. Salve a tutti gli amici. Io sono Alcanista Buonarroti e VTuber chi vuole regali felici. And we need to adjust a few things here. Hey, no, that is a bit too much done apparently. Let's actually make our scene a bit bigger. Okay, excellent. We make him. Oh, but I think that if we make Video Studio bigger, then that also means a bigger power consumption on the graphics card, isn't it? Probably. Okay. So like this, and now we can actually make it a little bit bigger here. No, 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 no. We actually want him to. Hey. We want. Okay, excellent. Now we took care of that. Wonderful. Maybe you will hear that the audio sounds a bit strange. I didn't yet set my mic stand properly. And now I am going to. This is going to be a very fast stream, very simple stream. I am tremendously busy today, so the set is going to be probably not even like 5 minutes or something. Okay, so today I might also sound a little bit different because I changed my computer layout, and like excellent, this is here. So like now I had much more space in my desk. I think actually that I mentioned a little bit of it on the previous stream, that this was something that I was working on, right? I am pretty sure that I did mention something like that. I get the feeling that I will have mentioned it. Alright, now let's set a bit more of the cable here. Wow, it's a funny thing. I know it's a random thing to mention, but I just remembered a dream that I had recently. That's a bit funny. That's a little bit funny, yeah. That's sorry, I was probably like that was being super loud. Let's lower the universal volume a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I do beg your pardon for that. I am really sorry. I didn't expect it. I didn't think the music will be that loud. Go Pixabay, I guess. But well, you know, it's things that happen. Stuff that happens. Let's actually set the camera over here. Let's do calibration again. Wonderful, wonderful. It seems to be working well. Okay. So as I had mentioned it, we had like I've been really busy today, and I actually have been working on some real life stuff, and I also have been working on some like I know that I had mentioned it a couple times before in the past, but like VTubing and imagine streaming in general. Okay, here we're setting up the thing here. Wonderful. Okay, yeah. It involves a lot of off-screen, off-live kind of stuff. Like for example, I was listening back to my most recent stream, the one with the ASMR roleplays, and I had to figure out weird rambling that get occurring throughout the audio, and it was quite unfortunate actually. Two things kind of ruined the Ace roleplay audio. One was that I didn't realize that if you reduce the resolution of the video studio, apparently reduces the native resolution of your model. So like when I try to upscale the model to fit in the screen up for OBS, it like completely, it made the model look all pixelated, so it looks bad. It doesn't look good. Y también, además de eso, so I figured that out those weird ramblings that really make the audio unlistenable. I mean, you can listen to it, but it's just using video uploaded material, I don't think. They happen because of the self-noise of the microphone. Self-noise is essentially, well, not exactly self-noise, but it was because of the vibrations of the microphone that were taking place because of my apologies. Because of the movement in the table and the movements from the keyboard and from the mouse through the table, the vibrations went into the microphone, and that was the big rumbling sound. So now I added like a bunch of napkins that will function as shock absorbedores de choque, absorbedores de impacto, absorbedores de vibración, shock absorbers. Santo cielo, el ESL. Oh, no, eso no es bueno. Eso no es bueno, non bueno. Anyways, and that seems to have resolved the rambling issue. I really hope that it does, but unfortunately it does mean that we are going to have to do that is roleplay audio again. And even now, right now, for example, the soundtracks that we're listening to right now, maybe you will notice that they are a bit different than the music that I am usually listening to during the saxos. This is actually music that I am listening to choose for an audio. So I am doing something else off screen, something for editing, even during a stream. Like, help, tasquete, ayuda. There's too much to do. Like, I keep remembering how I watched that video that Miss Rima Evenstar did about Miss Lady Suicide, and like there's one part where she mentions that when she was beginning, everyone knows how she did everything on her own, and she was like super mega committed, and like she had a will of iron, una voluntad de hierro, and all that. And like there was a time where she did everything by herself, like the editing, the singing, the promoting. Like she didn't have a manager or anything, so like all of the editing, all the writing, the copy text for everything related to her channel, editing her audio as well, of course, setting up her audio, trying to make everything with her setup work. And so she did everything herself. And like she mentioned that even someone like Suicide mentioned, yeah, after a while it was getting a bit tiring, it was difficult to keep up. And yeah, now I'm seeing that it is a bit difficult to keep up, because even if I had the possibility to dedicate to this full time, even then it would be like very difficult to get this. I think no, this one is on the left and this one on the right, around here. I think this is around the center. Even then, like it would be very difficult to get everything done. Just like if you had to do everything by yourself, it's hard. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be at first. I actually wanted to prepare a bit more for this video. Like I wanted to prepare a bit of steaming water so I could breathe in and open my nasal cavities more, so that I can speak a little bit fancier. But well, c'est la vie. And now let's open the doco. Normally the streams I end up doing them like 2 hours, but this time it's going to be only 1 hour stream because I had a lot. Oh my god, I had so much stuff to do. It's exhausting, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, that was good. Well timing, good timing. Actually, this is probably one of the tracks that I'm going to use. But at the very least I had the relief that I am learning something new every day, and today I got to do something that I have been wanting to do for a long time. I wrote the text for another community post on YouTube where I explain why I can't really play video games as much as I would like to. And yeah, I only had to take a screen cap, and then that's like, yeah, perfect. Like, it's ready. And also I realized that through that I had realized that I had like a lot of sorry. So I had a lot of yeah, okay, we can take this out from the yeah. Sorry, my apologies, I completely lost my train of thought here. Oh, right, that I actually had gained a lot of speed as a video editor. Even with this, I don't want to be mean, but like somewhat clumsy VSDC. Sorry about that. Okay, I don't have to make too much effort to smile for the... Okay. Excellent. Now we are actually going to check out one of my favorite channels in all of YouTube. Like one of the channels that I genuinely think is one of the most important channels in YouTube. Like stories of old. Let's actually see. Making video essays that explore the boundary between media analysis, philosophy, and personal development in an empathic, emotionally resonant way. And that is quite fitting. Very well. So let's go for it. And yeah, we don't really need to listen to another track. We're going to leave the last 3 for the outro, maybe. Let's just go straight to the Japanese lessons one. Hey, where is the... Sachi, where did you go? Dear me. Oh, and I actually think I'm going to have to rearrange the setting in my desktop anyways, because like there is some stuff around here that it kinda isn't working, I'm afraid. And I am worried about having this woofer which has a magnet and like a lot of electricity and stuff right next to the computer, to the desk of the computer. So like sorry about that. Okay, I put it on vibrate mode, and I'm going to set up here on the on there. Now let's make sure that there's nothing bad on the... Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Like a stories of old, and excellent, marvelous, maravilloso. Actually, does it? Oh, excellent. So the size isn't really changed by the... Okay, that's pretty cool. Very good, very good. We had already seen your name, and actually I kinda want to do a pretty short one, but I also want to do one that is one that you guys are probably going to relate to more. So I was originally thinking of doing the Skyrim video, but Minecraft is a little bit shorter. I don't know. I don't know. Let's actually start with Minecraft, and then later, if I feel like it. Okay, yeah, I think I have an idea of what we're going to do here. Good, good, good. So Minecraft, and then later the story philosophy of Gladiator, because Gladiator is also a movie that many people had seen or had known. And I think it's probably one of the most digestible essays of Tom, the author behind like stories of old. And I don't know him on a personal level or anything. I am also a fan. But I do think he's incredibly insightful and incredibly thoughtful individual. We're going to clean out the desk of these other tabs because I think that .go actually doesn't do the same thing that that Google Chrome does, that it only loads the tabs when you use them, but rather it it loads all the tabs. So it is very much within my interest to have little tabs here. Okay.
This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. If you sign up using the
We're gonna have to do.
This video is brought to
I
you by
can't do
CuriosityStream.
60p.
If you
Sorry.
sign up using the link in the description, you'll also get access to Nebula, a new streaming platform that I am a part of. But more on that at the end.
Okay.
I've always played Minecraft in a very particular way. I like to build bases that blend in with the natural environment. This house I carved out of the side of a mountain. There's a living room with dogs and fireplaces, a bedroom, some balconies, an observatory with a map of the world, and a little tower at the top. I have some crops and a bunch of animals, all with adequate space, shelter,
It's like a
and
key
water
house
to
and
play
house win.
around in. Aside from shearing the sheep, I don't use them for resources. I just like having them around. Everything I build is fairly simple, as I don't really understand how to use the redstones to make those complicated structures you see in other videos.
I am not entirely sure, but I actually think that Mr. Tom is I don't know if he's a vegetarian, but he is somewhat sympathetic with the idea of not wanting to essentially torture or to predate on animals. And yeah, redstone is complicated. Like I never got the wiring for that.
I only went into the nether dimension once, never defeated that dragon at the end. I pretty much spend my time improving my base and exploring the immediate world around me.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have so much fun when I can get to build stuff in Minecraft with you guys. It's gonna be so wonderful.
Although I enjoy playing this way very much, I do find the game doesn't offer me as many interesting game mechanics as I would have if I were to pursue building more complicated structures or achieving conquest goals. And it got me thinking about what exactly it is that the creators of Minecraft expect me to do. What do they think this game is about? Every video game is created based on certain assumptions. Assumptions about the world and its people that are reflected in the game's mechanics, which enable and constrain virtual behavior. Examining these assumptions is a great way to understand why a game is designed the way it is, but it could also reveal what would be different if the creators were to change them. And so my first question for today is, what are the assumptions at the heart of Minecraft's virtual world?
Now we're delving into philosophy.
Back when I was getting my master's degree in environmental sociology, we do this exercise called frame analysis. Framing is basically a tool to understand how individuals, movements, and societies as a whole organize experience into social constructs. Take an issue like deforestation. Is this an urgent problem of ecological preservation?
I'm
How
sorry.
does, as a whole, organize experience and how individuals,
Sorry, I
movements, and
was taking
societies
care
as
of
a
her.
whole organize experience into social constructs? Take an issue
Mhm.
like deforestation. Is this an urgent problem of ecological preservation? Is it the price we pay for human progress? Or is it simply a luxury problem of developed countries? All of these are frames. They are ways of looking at the world we live in. Frames are created continuously and change over time. They
Yeah.
define what we see as good and what we see as problematic, and subsequently guide our behavior into specific directions. Frames can align with
Yeah.
each other or challenge each other in opposition. They can be a basis for stability or a trigger for change.
Framing, I suppose, I imagine, is actually a concept that is very strongly shared, muy fuertemente compartido between any kind of many types of humanistic branches, such as politics, academics, scholastics. It's not dialectics. What was it when two people engaged in a debate with opposing viewpoints? Like it has a formal name. I am sorry, I just cannot really remember. But yeah, essentially the idea of framing is like the way that la manera en la que enmarcamos nuestro conocimiento, nuestra cosmovisión para determinar con cuál clase de sistema o con cuál clase de perspectiva apreciamos el universo. Or to put it in another way, essentially it's the way in which we try to see the world, like putting it in very layman's terms, then the way to which we see the world. And as Mr. Dunn will mention very soon, there are 3 layers that we can make with a frame. This is actually going into a bit more of an abstract, almost philosophical tangent, but do bear with it. It is very fascinating. It is very fun.
3 layers that
I promise it is fun.
into each other. The first and deepest layer is ontological. This layer deals with the fundamental assumptions about reality. How do we conceive the world? How do we look at the way things are?
So, for example, does matter have a spirit? Does it have an immaterial essence that is connected to it? If such an immaterial essence exists, does it proceed from matter, or is matter informed by this immaterial essence? Is consciousness a result of the brain, or is it simply that the brain has a very particular combination of molecules and atoms and cells that can channel consciousness? And so on and so forth. Essentially, it is, and this is probably going to be one of the most abstract aspects for people who are not particularly familiar with philosophy. Not like I studied philosophy in any formal capacity. For people to be more familiar with, because it is the most quote unquote alien of branches in philosophy. But it's one that can be really fun and really exciting.
The second layer is normative. Here we tackle questions of morality. What is good and what is bad? What is problematic and why?
And you might notice that normative is built at top of ontological, and or put in another way, that normative follows from ontological. There's a reason why it is framing. It is framing. But no, don't do that. Why it is framing that way, but like I heard it described once, you could say that ethics follows from metaphysics, that a person's beliefs and ethics follow from their metaphysics. What is metaphysics? Essentially beyond physics, or like things that are outside of physics. Which is another way of saying, more or less, it's not exactly, but which is very connected to the ontological layers of philosophical discussion. Philosophy is normally, you can generally divide it into 5 branches or sections. Let's see if I can remember them. ethics, metaphysics, logic, epistemology. How do you know what you know? Sorry. How do you know what you know? And I can't quite remember the fifth one, I'm sorry. I think it actually was ontology or cosmology, which I never quite remember the difference between ontology and cosmology, to be honest.
What is good and what is bad? What is problematic and why?
I forgot my water
The
bottle.
third and final layer is strategic. Knowing how we see and judge the world, we can then determine practical measures. What can and must be done? What can I do? What must others do?
And I don't know if we actually watched the canned video on a stream of like a series of all like about the Kingdom of Heaven, the movie about Jerusalem. You will notice that in strategic, what can or should be done follows from reality and ethics. So, what is the situation and what is the moral thing to do? So, knowing those two things, we can then infer or deduce what can we realistically do, because if there is like a super moral action but there is no real way or even realistic way of carrying it to fruition, then it's kind of like, well, maybe it belongs in the realm of ideas as delucidated by Plato, but it's not what we can do or what we should do. It's not very realistic today. Okay, just a few minutes more and I will
While this
take like a
method is not exactly
20-second break
designed
to
analyze game design, I think we can
sorry,
apply it nonetheless, albeit with a few minor
to
tweaks.
get my water bottle.
I think we can apply it nonetheless, albeit with
At the end of the video, he actually goes with a very
So
interesting
to
point.
rephrase my first question, let's examine what Minecraft's frame looks like. I'm going to begin at the surface, and from there we can dig our way through the layers.
He makes such effort into his videos.
When you start a new survival game, you're thrown into the virtual wilderness with a slowly depleting stamina bar and the threat of monsters that come out of hiding after nightfall.
As you guys can probably tell, as you guys can probably imagine, I really look up to this person.
Given the
I think he
available
is quite
options, the
quite
advantageous
outstanding.
course of
He's
action is to
quite a great
gather
example.
materials, craft tools, and build a shelter.
Yeah.
When this is done, you can then begin to domesticate animals, create weapons for combat, cultivate the land to grow crops, and mine for further resources.
And it is actually very interesting, given that normally, of course, this kind of, I don't remember the formal name that it has in game design, but this way of like the way that you set the game or that you present the game elements to guide the players to through a certain path or progression of discoverability is obviously seen almost exclusively in the within the framing within the framing of gameplay or jugabilidad, but it is never really seen in terms of philosophy or moral instruction, is it? Oh, it is such an, even those words seem oddly old-fashioned to modern game design nowadays, I would assume.
Later, you can use certain materials to create more complicated structures and mechanics, trade with other villages,
Sorry about
and
that.
explore different dimensions. All these elements are strategic ones. They are all concerned with the actual gameplay.
With what you
the
can
things
factually
that
and
can
realistically do.
must be done.
Okay, yeah, like that.
Moving into the normative layer, things get
So strategic, extract resources, build, terraform, conquer, domesticate, etc. It should probably be noticed. I don't think there particularly is any much of a there isn't much of a reward for being particularly exploitative towards animals, for example. Like, I think you get about as much of a reward as, for example, sharing ships than you do by by beating them up, let's say. And well, animals like pigs, I don't think there is any other use for them other than slaughtering for meat. I don't remember. Um, sorry about that. So generally, Minecraft is, I think, highly regarded for being one of the few very popular games that genuinely doesn't really fit your, except for like surviving and like fighting the mobs and stuff. But that is to add a somewhat necessary element of modern gameplay of action into into the game to make it more attractive, to give it a hook. Um, but like it genuinely does not feature much, if any, violence in its gameplay. Oh, wait, no, 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 no. Hey.
Unlike moving into the normative layer, things get a little less obvious.
Yeah.
Unlike some other games, Minecraft does not have an explicit morality system. There are no points to be earned for either good or bad actions.
Yeah, there
There's
are.
no meter measuring the player's amount of honor. On the surface, the game seems morally neutral. But this also isn't exactly the case, as the gameplay does allow the player freedom of action. It allows agency, and agency always has
Yeah.
moral implications.
It could be said that the game is observingly neutral. That is to say, it doesn't really emit any opinions, much like a silent word of a silent god. But because of what Sir Tom has Sir Tom has mentioned, um, agency almost inherently carries with it the moral implication of choice. So you could have done one thing, but you did the other, or you could have done one thing, and even though it was difficult to take that option, you took that option.
This becomes more evident not by looking
Yeah.
at what the game encourages you to do, but by looking at what the game doesn't discourage you to do. Let's look at animal farming, for example. In terms of rewards and
Oh,
punishments,
sorry, that was
it doesn't
probably.
make much of a difference whether you keep your
Yeah,
animals on a
that
pasture
rumbled.
with plentiful space, or in a nightmarish factory farm designed to slaughter as many as possible as fast as possible.
And the thing, this isn't even like a tent of ghoulish, as nightmarish, as horrifying, as infernal as actual factory farms are.
The latter might actually be encouraged as it gives the players more resources, more rewards, without imposing any penalties that might give cause for moral concern. The same goes for villagers.
Wouldn't that actually burn a lot of arrows though?
The player can trade with them, but also kill, kidnap, and even breed them with impunity.
Breed! Breed!
In
Uh, why am I going to do this? Okay.
but also kill, kidnap, and even breed them.
Breed! Uh, breed! Breed! No pregante! Only breed! Ah. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, Minecraft's world as a whole never gives you any real feedback to your actions. And this brings us to the ontological layer, the fundamental assumption on which Minecraft's world exists.
Yeah, and a normative. So, like the ethical layer, everything is permitted. Yeah.
Which is that the world is ultimately indifferent
Yeah.
to the player.
That's actually something that I really appreciated about Minecraft. That there, whenever you start, like, sorry, um, it never really wants to guide you one way or another, or tell you that you are the savior of whatever, or that you had this destiny, or that you had one thing to do, or anything. You are completely free to do anything you want, and there is something quite fascinating about that particular silence, of not being given any particular guiding hand or destiny or anything. Like you are completely free to do whatever you want, and that is both a very exhilarating, but also a very sobering thing at the same time.
You can terraform the entire landscape and the world will remain silent. It
Yeah.
exists solely for the player's manipulation.
And if you also task yourself to be a sort of a guardian of nature, a guardian of the natural world, it will also be completely silent.
This, I think, pretty much sums up the foundation on which Minecraft is created. It's essentially a sandbox, a playground, a virtual box of Legos, where the only
He said it.
moral restrictions are the ones players impose on themselves. And while I'm perfectly fine enjoying it as such, a part of me does wonder, should it
Oh,
be?
should
Because
it
the
be?
thing is, in Minecraft you're not really playing with Legos. The world isn't just a collection of raw materials waiting to be assembled. It already has some life to it on its own.
And well, of course, maybe I'm interpreting a bit too much, but it is to my understanding that Sirtam has a very strong concern with a very strong preoccupation with uh, discovering how to live an ethical life every day and make sure that every single one of his actions upon the world um, have a have an ethical impact upon it.
You're not
An extremely rare thing to see nowadays, it
building
must
a
be
giant
added.
vacuum. You're playing in a world where there are different biomes, different animals, trees and water. There's gravity, sort of. The point is, the world very much resembles our own natural world, and thus it is interesting to examine the extent to which Minecraft's frame is informed by
Yeah.
similar frames in the real world, both to understand where it may have originated, as well as to explore the potential of assuming a different one. So what frames does Minecraft resemble? By and large, Minecraft lets you do what humans have always done. Ever since we moved from being hunters and gatherers to an agricultural society, we began to manipulate the natural world to let it better service our needs, and started treating nature, at least in part, based on its functionality for us. And we did so pretty successfully, as those roots eventually led to
Testing,
the modern
testing.
society we live in today. Looking at
Excellent.
our more
No.
recent history, I think Minecraft most closely resembles a specific frame that
Sorry, I was
became
just
dominant
readjusting
after the
the
Second
position of
World
the
War,
microphone.
a period marked by neoliberal politics and global economic expansion. To generalize it somewhat, this neoliberal frame assumed that nature is unaffected by human activity, that we can
I love the didactic presentation. This is Tascario, philosophical Tascario. I adore it.
treat nature as instrumental,
Ontological,
and
nature is an effective
therefore
human activity.
we can
Normative, we
freely
can treat nature
extract
as instrumental.
resources,
And then
expand or
strategic,
build.
so the reality, ontological, nature doesn't unaffected by human activity. Normative, we can treat nature as instrumental. It follows from that it does, from the fact that it doesn't care. And so what we should do, realistically, is extract resources, expand and build.
Without having to
Quite, I adore it, like genuinely. Uh, I adore it, genuinely. Philosophical Tascario. Tascario. Ah, beautiful, beautiful.
seriously concern ourselves with the well-being of the environment. The similarities to Minecraft's frame are probably pretty obvious, and it could explain why the game's expansions have been mostly oriented towards conquest instead of survival. Because by assuming this frame, the world is only as interesting as the amount of things that there are to exploit, and there is an everlasting hunger for more. More
More,
items, more
more
rewards,
items,
more
more
treasures,
rewards, more
always
treasure.
something different. And I think it is
Something
exactly by
different.
linking Minecraft's frame to frames in the real world that we can explore this unfulfilled potential. For the time of neoliberal expansion was also marked by something else, by a new frame that would challenge the status quo.
Oh, I know what it is.
In 1962, Rachel Carson published Silent Spring and was among the first to bring attention to the environmental impact of our actions by documenting the
Right.
damage caused by the indiscriminate use of pesticides.
Yeah, before the Industrial Revolution, it never really came to be that human civilization had the power to actually terraform or affect the planetary ecosystem in a significant way. Um, before this mentioned framing came to be, uh, it was kind of reasonable to believe that nature would be unaffected by the actions, because so far until that point in history it genuinely was completely unaffected by human actions. Or well, it's certainly a bit more complicated than that. I think there were a couple of occasions where human activity actually managed to bring more than a couple ecosystems into extinction, but that is a topic which I am not too well equipped to address, to handle.
In 1972, the limits to growth report sparked a worldwide debate about the sustainability of our current hunger for resources and material expansion. Together with many other...
Sorry, I'm going to bring my water bottle. So, just one moment, please. No. Hey. Okay. Excellent. Just one moment. Oh. Oh, I didn't forget it. It was just around here. Okay. Oh. Clipping. That's too much clipping, mister. You shouldn't be clipping that hard. No clipping. No. Oh. Sorry, on the wrong button. Boy.
books and reports. These environmental concerns laid the foundation for a new frame that challenged the neoliberal zeitgeist. This frame, let's call it the environmentalist frame, can be broken down as follows. Nature is strongly connected and reactive to human activity. We have to be mindful in our interactions with nature, and therefore, we have to find sustainable ways of development and take action to ensure things like better animal welfare.
This makes my philosophy loving heart very happy. Like, I love the didactic synthesis. Tascario. Philosophical Tascario. That is actually quite wonderful. Thank you, Tom. Wonderful.
Habitat protection and ecological preservation.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not arguing for Minecraft ecological preservation, better animal welfare,
So you can see how it follows from the conception of reality is nature is connected and related to human activity. Then ethically, what follows from this ontological assertion, or I guess we could call it axiom. So axiom is essentially the most basic and the most fundamental affirmation, which can be subcategorized or divided into a smaller affirmation. The most astute among you will probably notice that probably what I just presented as an action is not necessarily an action, because we can subdivide it a bit further, but like, give me a break, I am streaming now. I am in streaming mode, not in full brain mode. Okay. And also, like, yeah, this is like a very simplistic presentation of this philosophical concept, but you must admit that Sir Tom does an amazing job of presenting them. So, therefore, what follows ethically is that we have to be mindful in our interactions with nature. And how can we do this moral idea of being mindful with nature? Strategically, we can attempt to emphasize in an individual and on a groupal level, en un nivel grupal, ideas of sustainable development, caring more about the well-being of animal beings, showing concern for the protection of natural habitats, preserving ecological systems, and much more. And not necessarily just as a matter of self-interest, in the sense that, for example, these habitats and ecologies maybe are playing a fundamental role in the preservation of the habitat that allows us humans to live, which we do not yet understand with our current science, but also because it is a virtue and a good in itself, because these are living beings that are sharing the planet with us.
Habitat protection, and ecological preservation. Now, I'm not arguing for Minecraft to be turned into political propaganda. As I discussed in my video on The Witcher 3, I think a great game does not dictate morality, but uses clever game design to make you think about it for yourself, to make you reflect on certain issues that you otherwise wouldn't have considered. And so what I want to focus on is not the normative, but the ontological assumption of Minecraft. Or what would happen if we were to change the assumption that nature is indifferent to the assumption that nature is strongly connected and reactive to human activity. Just to reiterate, I'm perfectly fine with Minecraft the way it is. As a matter of fact, to this day, I've only played the vanilla version and I'm still having a ton of fun with it.
Okay, that's surprising. Really? Not a single mod? I mean, you genuinely can have like a tons of fun with Minecraft with just vanilla Minecraft, but not one mod. Huh, that's amazing. There are a lot of mods that are really cool though.
So when I'm discussing things I would like to see differently, I don't mean it in the literal sense that Minecraft needs these changes in order to be good. I merely like to imagine what could be, either within Minecraft, a potential sequel, or in a hypothetical sandbox game completely unrelated to Minecraft. I'm just using Minecraft as an example because 1. It's arguably the most popular one. 2. Aside from a few examples like Factorio or the still in development Eco, Minecraft's frame is comparable to the majority of other sandbox games. And 3. I simply enjoy this one the most. So let's change Minecraft's frame. As of now, Minecraft presents a seemingly natural world, but no real nature. The only real natural process that is linked to your behavior is that if you remove a piece of grass and place it back again, the grass will have turned to dirt, and you have to wait a while for the grass to grow back again. By assuming the environmentalist frame, this will be expanded significantly, and there will be much more feedback from the world based on how you interact with it. Imagine biomes now thriving or deteriorating based on the available amount of water per X amount of blocks. I could probably drain this entire swamp by cutting off this major water source, or I could redirect existing waterways to return green back to this desert.
That's good.
And what would happen if I were to plant trees from one biome into another one? Will they
Ah,
grow? Maybe they will even do so well that they ultimately overtake the native vegetation.
yeah.
Same goes for animals. What would an overabundance of predators in one area mean to the herbivore population? And what about a lack of them? What would happen to grasslands if herbivore populations grow too big?
The ecosystem will be thrown out of whack.
What effects do
What a
different types
beautiful
of
game there will
farming
be.
have on the world? Do certain crops exhaust the soil more than others? Do happier animals produce better quality products? Does
I think there is actually a little bit of, at least I hear very anecdotal evidence that that tends to be the
too
case.
many animals in one place cause environmental problems, like an overabundance of manure poisoning the ground or contaminating water? Does keeping too many animals together increase the likelihood of diseases? What if excessive industrialization caused issues like sour rain or smog? Would you be forced to keep your base small and simple? Or would you be able to find sustainable ways of modernization? These are but a few of the questions that would be relevant in this imaginary version of Minecraft. To emphasize, environmentalism as a frame and potential foundation for a video game is much broader than the hotly debated topic of climate change. The point isn't necessarily to raise awareness about the global environmental consequences to our collective behavior. I don't want a game where I start a campfire and melt the entire Arctic. That wouldn't make a lot of sense, as in Minecraft it's just you, or you with a small number of other players. Either way, that's hardly enough impact to make an explicit point about global developments like climate change.
It would
The
also
point
be
is
too on
that
the nose.
introducing more mechanics such as these will breathe more life into Minecraft's environment. And this can help us to better understand ecological systems and our interactions with them, not by dictating morals, but by letting you find out for yourself how the different elements of the environment interact with each other, by letting you explore the dynamics of a complex ecological system.
It also helps very much to plant the idea in a very innocent, I guess if you want to see it that way, in an almost spiritual way, um, that your actions as an individual have an effect on the world, and to show people on, again, a very simplistic, a very innocent level, how the concept of like contaminating the water supply actually affects the environment in a very real way. Not in the kind of abstract way of hearing that in 20 years the global temperature will rise by 1 degree, which is something that people cannot understand. Most people can't really understand, because of propaganda and the kind of philosophical way that we live nowadays. A lot of people don't want to understand. Um, but as a very real, very human, and very direct reaction to a player's being, to a player's living. Not only that, but it almost forces the person to come face to face with the moral implications of their own way of life when they very directly see how, I don't know, redirecting a water canal actually affects or even damages the natural beings around them.
And showing how even individual behavior, for better or worse,
Um,
leaves a footprint.
yeah,
But above all, the thing
yeah, that's a much more succinct way of putting it. Thank you, Tom.
what I really want is to experience Minecraft like I did when I first started playing it, exploring and discovering, not really knowing what I'm doing. There was an unmistakable charm to those early days in this virtual world of blocks.
There really was.
And I would love to see new mechanics that could revitalize that feeling. I want to mess around in natural environments and find out what the consequences are. I want to learn about ecological cause and effect and utilize them to improve my base and the world around it. I want to feel the danger of new and unexpected environmental hazards, the joy of surprising opportunities, and that blissful sensation of, after hours and hours of work, standing within your own creation, existing in peaceful harmony. And if those
And I'm almost teary now. Almost having some tears. What a beautiful king that will be.
mechanics were to invoke you to reflect on our natural world and your own ecological impact, to make you question your worldview in a meaningful way, that, to me, sounds like a pretty great deal.
It really is. It is a wonderful deal.
This video was brought to you by CuriosityStream, a streaming service with thousands of documentaries on science,
It will be
history,
an
nature
amazing
and
deal.
technology, and much, much more.
Simply
I could
amazing.
argue that it's a great place to learn more about the natural world, the different frames that exist in relation to it, and how they interact with each other in our society. But if you're anything like me, you're going to use it to watch documentaries on dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals. They have tons of those.
Okay.
Unlimited access
I'm
starts at the low
sure, yeah.
price of just
Tons of
$2.99 a month,
dinosaurs.
and you can get the first 31 days for free by going to curiositystream.com/like-stories-of-old
We will now proceed
and
to read
using the
some of the
promo code
comments.
like-stories-of-old.
Oh,
But
I
it doesn't
completely
end there,
forgot to...
because if you sign up to CuriosityStream, you'll also get unlimited access to Nebula, a brand new collaborative project between me and many other creators, where you can watch our videos ad-free, and where your support means you're directly supporting us. You can follow all your favorite creators, and even see
We
some
lost...
exclusive Nebula originals.
We are losing a
Again,
ton of
all of this is
frames.
included in your CuriosityStream subscription, so be sure to check out
I didn't realize the...
curiositystream.com/like-stories-of-old. Use the promo code like-stories-of-old and start enjoying the countless of hours of content today.
Thankfully, it seems like it's something that happened just recently. So... Okay, thankfully it seems like it's just... yeah. Oh, hey. No, no. No, we wanted to read the comments. I think we're going to end the stream earlier than anticipated. You know what it is? Yeah, it's these two browsers and Video Studio are proving a bit much for the computer, I'm afraid. But that's weird. We never had this problem before. Hmm. Hmm. We are going to wait a couple moments for the stream to stabilize. Estabilizar. No, it is not. That's so odd. Yeah, because it is connected to wired network. Maybe we're having some problems with the router. But that's weird. This never happened before. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, no, clearly something is wrong with the router. And we are not seeing any problems with the upload, I don't think. Okay, so maybe it's just something about today that's like unstable. At least I hope it is something today. We're going to end the stream a bit earlier than anticipated, I believe. Well, I mean, I wasn't really planning to go for much longer anyways, so no biggie. I never asked myself, how will Bob Ross play Minecraft? I guess I know now. Let's do a last stitch thing and let's considerably reduce Video Studio. Let's see if that helps a bit. Whoops. Okay, now I am reducing processing power, but no, I don't think that is actually the case, right? No, it clearly is something else. Or I answer, it is a little bit frustrating. I try to make a lot of effort to get the strings working, and something as simple, something that shouldn't be a problem, keeps on being a problem. Okay. Now Cristianco says, everyone, you need to play Minecraft without thinking. Like first of all, hold my master's degree. I was actually quite amazed that he did that he has a master's on what was it? Ecological philosophy or something like that. That was actually I'm actually quite amazed. Like wow, wow. The combination of your ads and music creates such a soothing experience. But above all, and another says, but above all, the thing I really want is to experience Minecraft like I did when I first started playing it. There's the truth, don't we all? Oh, don't tell him about the Psycraft server or his mind will collapse. And actually, this is the one that I was thinking. This is what I was thinking of. You should make a Kickstarter for a month that implements this. Nothing too crazy, but just environmental vanilla. I will back that in a heartbeat. Yeah, I probably will too. That sounds like a really sweet thing. That sounds really nice. In a certain way, Minecraft is already, another comment says, in a certain way, Minecraft is already reacted to player actions, although unintentionally. When industry is expanded too far, the world reacts by creating lag. This slows down farms and hards gameplay, so it needs to be avoided. This can be seen most clearly in the most advanced and industrial server in Minecraft, Skycraft. Skycraft has exploited the world almost to the max, creating farms for hundreds of items and building enormous quarries to gather resources. However, Skycraft has had to develop their own version, the Minecraft equivalent of environmentalism, to stop their world from dying of lag. Because of this, they limit the size of their machines, use less laggy components, and prevent all unnecessary processing, sometimes by mining down massive perimeters down to bedrock. So, while Minecraft does encourage industry and resource gathering, too much of this can negatively affect the world. In the extreme endgame of Minecraft, players must find a balance between industry and nature, as industry cannot expand indefinitely. Thank you for listening to my tech talk. Thank you for the tech talk. That was actually quite fascinating. Actually, someone mentioned this, like you get experience for doing certain creative things and killing everything except villagers, golems, and baby animals. And sincerely, so that could kind of some kind of moral system. Maybe, but you could also say that the experience system is just like an experience system. It's not something that like really affects the world in any meaningful way. Okay. Are we back actually? It's telling me that the stream is going back to a healthy connection. But I am not seeing it. Like, are we losing frames now? But it's weird because if it actually no, we are losing frames again. But we are losing a lot less now. Maybe it is something with the router. I don't know. In any case, we are going to read a few comments and then we are going to call it a day. So, no biggie. Sorry that it has an ending like this, but well. Oh, like Stories of All replayed. Good point, I totally overlooked that, but yes, I say that definitely counts. But I would say that there could be a distinction between experience and... Okay, I got a screen tearing, so clearly there is something with my computer. It is simply getting experience, but it doesn't really imply that you did something good or bad. At most is that the game rewards you, but I don't know if I would go so far as to say that the game unintentionally emits a moral judgment through that. The villagers. You can pretend with impunity. PewDiePie has left the chat. Great video. Another comment says, great video as always. I think a big reason that Minecraft is the way it is, and not the way as you've shown, is simply because the complexity involved is staggering and possibly unstable. What I mean is, the world is unreactive is a simple paradigm. A more complex one might make the world impossible to understand, especially for beginners. For instance, you assume the world is inevitable, but if the world reacts to you, the world must necessarily also react to itself. Tree tides and predators will cross biomes, some random lava pool might start a forest fire. The world might render itself uninhabitable, in a way that a new player will not understand, and which may really sour his or her experience. An interesting game to be sure, but not Minecraft. Also one where the developers will box themselves in, because the system will need to be majorly retuned to stabilize itself, and anything added afterwards must not risk this stability. The world is made out of blocks is unrealistic, so perhaps it's fine if the rules of the world are a bit unrealistic too. Minecraft and like Stories of All. Heart. No, wait. Heart. Okay. Excellent. So now we are going to go back to the sassy. Let's close this one fast so that we don't kill the computer. And hey, hey, okay. Now let's see. Now we actually had taken out the. Hey, no. Hey, okay. So now we have taken out one of the browsers. One of the things that caused a lot of problems with processing. And if I nope, it's like just when I say that, clearly it is a connection issue, but I don't know what it might be. But it actually keeps telling me that the stream is healthy now, so maybe it really was just like a very local thing. And it keeps telling me the stream status is excellent. We are also not really losing all that many frames now. And we haven't really been losing any frames for a while. But I think it had something to do with the processing power. Okay, and now I'm going to make a little test. So hey, come back. Tachi. Now, okay, so I see Video Studios around 33% processing power and a certain amount of RAM. Now I'm going to make the screen really big, like insanely so big it can even. Okay, so can you see me in high quality now? Yeah. Oh god. And yeah, okay. Now it is 40% quality. So it actually plays a factor, but nowhere near as big a factor as I would have thought it did. So that's interesting. And now, hey, where is the, okay, here, and now we're going to relocate our character in here. Excellent, just a little bit lower, and hey, no. Okay, so like this. A little more. Wonderful. Now I wonder, is it with wide space, widening the space, does it do something? It seems that it does, but relatively little. Like almost nothing, it seems. No, it actually seems to be affecting it. Hey, we need to listen to the rest of the music here. Oh, and imagine this. Yeah, the music tracks were actually doing a bit of run. Were consuming a bit of run. I don't think that was doing it. That was doing things any favors either. And now that I reduced it, I made it less white. So it actually is doing it. Yeah, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So I can set. Okay, fine. So something that was a bit frustrating at the start turned out to be another learning experience. That is good. But alright, so in resume, in brief, now we learned that if I don't occupy a lot of space with the... If I limit the resolution of the Video Studio window, that results in less processing power being consumed. So that is very much something that I want to take into account. Maravilloso, wonderful. Man, that sure was another learning experience. And I think I might actually have at least for the time being, I guess my computer can't really handle like having sorry. So my computer can't really handle two browsers and Video Studio and bit of music and other tabs open at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, so far, I think a little before we closed the .go, we haven't lost another frame. So I think it might have been the CPU processing. Okay. That's good. That's pretty good. That's good. Let's listen to another song. Well, we had learned something. Oh yeah, playing the stream here might not have been a good idea. I kept playing on the Go Live video. No. I get the feeling that will actually get me in some problems. At least from what I know, like singing tracks with lyrics, it's probably not a good idea on YouTube. Sorry, I'm just a bit tired because that little thing about the suddenly skipping out of frames kinda threw me into overdrive. But we learned something new, so that was good, I think. yeah, it was good. Oh, yeah, it was good. The mod moves so good now. You know, I was hey, wink. Come on, wink. Don't make me set up higher sensitivity. God, I had to increase wing sensitivity, don't I? So like, okay, so blink sensitivity around here. Yeah, excellent. So I can squint, and I can squint real close. What are you planning? Really, tell me. What are you planning? You are planning something. I know, I see you. You're planning something. Yeah, so now I can blink better? Well, almost. It seems to have problems sometimes, but okay, so I can't really blink super fast, but oh yeah. So it's confusing if I blink super fast, but generally it does well. And this is another song that I want for the audio. Man, I guess in the end I did end up doing everything that I set out to do today, so that's a good thing. We will see each other on Friday, I imagine, para el karaoke. Sí. Alright. And I think we had already done everything today. As I had mentioned, it was going to be a very short stream anyways. And as I had also mentioned, I am really busy today, so I must go. But I already closed the That window. I wanted to see a Depressed Nosagi video about Fuwamoku were probably my favorite. Originally, my favorite VTuber from Advent, Hololive EN3, was Miss Yori Novella. But eventually, I kinda have been more interested in Fuwamoku. Because, like, you can tell they put a lot of effort into what they do. Like, a lot of effort. Advent is such an incredible generation. Like, we're going to be hearing sorry. What I meant to say was that we are surely going to be seeing a lot of videos analyzing what made Advent so great for a very long time. Yes, for sure. Sorry about that. And that will be for next stream. I think that today I am actually going to do a little bit of setting up video studio with different resolutions for different stream games, for different stream types. So like when I want to watch a React video, I'm going to lower the resolution of the webcam and I'm going to like do a lower level of tracking, so that way it doesn't really consume as much CPU power. And on situations where it's more talking or it is a karaoke, then I can dedicate more full-on processing power to the computer. Sorry about that. Okay, but that should be it, I do imagine. And oh, actually, let me try something. No, not new tab. I mean new window. Wonderful. Testing, and let's enter the. And I'm going to enter actually this. I am simply testing out something real fast. Let's hey, it's time to end the stream. So alright, salve Mimichi. Goodbye. See ya. Bye bye.